What distinguishes the greatest sprinters in cycling history? Their palmarès, for sure. The rider profile you'll be looking at has a significant number of Grand Tour stages, a few points competition jerseys, a few classic victories, and possibly a World Championship victory or two. Other names include Erik Zabel, Mario Cipollini, and Mark Cavendish. There is so much for today's sprint riders who have made history or are still doing so, but what about those who came before us and won? Hello and welcome back to Cycling News Live. Since the Tour de France's debut more than a century ago, there have been numerous good and productive sprinters. Today we'll talk about some of the best sprints of 2022. So stay with us till the end of this video so you don't miss out on any of this information. But before we proceed, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell symbol so that you don't miss out on any of our wonderful videos in the future. And let's get started. Number 1. On the final day of competition at the European Championships, Fabio maintained his excellent recent record in a bunch of sprints to win the men's road race and take home the gold medal. The Dutchman, who suffered life-threatening injuries and lost most of his teeth after compatriot Groenewegen forced him into the barriers at the Tour of Poland 2 years ago, scored his 12th win of the year to take the coveted title. Groenewegen is responsible for the accident that caused the Dutchman's injuries. The second-place finisher was Arnaud Démare of France, and Tim Merlier of Belgium took third. Sprinters appeared to have an advantage on the 209-kilometer course that stretched from Murnau am Staffelsee to Munich because it was predominantly flat. This turned out to be the case. Danny Van Poppel, who is normally the lead-out man for Sam Bennett, who finished 5th just behind Van Poppel at the Bora Hansgrohe team, was responsible for putting Jacobsen in the perfect position. Jacobsen then surged past Merlier, and Démare followed him through into second place. Number 2. Arnaud Démare won the 6th stage of the Giro d'Italia 2022 road cycling competition on Thursday, 12 May, in Scalia, while Juan Pedro Lopez maintained his position as the overall leader and wore the pink jersey. After more than 5 hours of competition, the Frenchman prevailed in the final bunch sprint to take first place, edging out Caleb Ewan in a photo finish and crossing the finish line ahead of Mark Cavendish in third place. The Groupama FDJ sprint specialist has now won a total of 7 stages at the Giro d'Italia, making him the French rider with the most stage victories. Number 3. Dylan Groenewegen, Bike Exchange Jayco, a rider from the Netherlands, won the 3rd stage of the 2022 Tour de France for road cycling with a blanket finish on 3rd July. Groenewegen got his nose in front to claim the 5th Tour de France stage victory of his career after finishing the 182-kilometer journey between Vel and Sonderborg with an emphatic finish. A pair of riders from Belgium, Wout van Aert and Jasper Philipsen, finished in 2nd and 3rd place respectively behind him. With his finish in 2nd place, Van Aert strengthened his position as the leader in the general classification. The bunch was ultimately split in two after a significant collision near the back of the peloton on the cobblestone section, less than 11 kilometers from the finish. The Danish rider Magnus Kort of the EF Education Easy Post team started a solo breakaway right from the gun and continued to lead for the first 130 kilometers of the race. Kort had a lead of more than 6 minutes on the peloton that was chasing him at one point, but they were eventually able to catch up with him with 52 kilometers left to go in the race. Kort, who is now 29 years old, kept wearing the polka dot jersey he had been wearing the day before. Number 4. On 2 July, the 2nd stage of the 2022 Tour de France for road cycling was won by Fabio Jacobsen. Several cyclists lost control of their bikes during the 202.2-kilometer ride from Roskilde to Nyborg in Denmark, which is where the men's Grand Tour event for this year will begin. On the 18-kilometer-long Great Belt Bridge, Stage 1 winner Yves Lampaert of the Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl team crashed and injured himself. A significant collision that occurred with less than 3 kilometers remaining in the race prevented several top names from competing in the sprint finish. However, Lampert's teammate, the Dutchman Jacobsen, who was competing in his first race, finished ahead of Wout van Aert. Van Aert, a rider from Belgium, amassed sufficient points to earn the leader's yellow jersey for the competition. On Sunday, the riders will compete in their 3rd and final stage in Denmark, which will be a journey of 182 kilometers between Velle and Sonderborg. On Monday, they will depart for France. Number 5. Jonas Vingegaard of Denmark won his first Tour de France title, and Jasper Philipsen of Denmark won Stage 21, which was the latter's 2nd victory in the race. The Dane defeated the 2-time defending champion Tadej Pogačar to win the 109th edition of the race, which was a thrilling 3-week duel. Pogačar played one last card on the Champs-Élysées, leading the peloton before the sprint finish. In the highly competitive sprint finish, Philipsen of Alpecin de Sunink was able to get the better of Dylan Groenewegen and Alexander Kristoff. Wingard, who was only 25 years old, won the world's most prestigious cycling race, making him the first Danish rider to do so since Bjarne Riis in 1996. He crossed the finish line 3 minutes and 34 seconds ahead of Pogacar, who came in second. Wingard, who finished second in the Pogacar race the year before, improved upon his previous achievements in the mountains. Number 6. Jasper Philipsen takes the victory in Carcassonne at the end of Stage 15 of the Tour de France, which was a very busy and hot stage. The young Belgian rider, who was only 24 years old, won his first career stage victory in the race by claiming victory in a tight three-rider battle against Wout van Aert and Mads Pedersen. There was no shortage of accidents on the podium as riders covered the 202.5-kilometer distance from Rodez to the finish line, as the heat in the south of France was oppressive enough to enforce extreme weather protocols, loosening of rules on picking and disposing of bottles, and there was no shortage of accidents in the podium. Had it. Ben Thomas made it into the final 500 meters before being caught by a hard-charging pack as the stage came to an end after reeling off the day's various attackers. In the end, the stage was won after reeling off the day's various attackers. Peterson and Trek Segafredo were in the lead, but Philipsen expertly followed Dane's wheel and then advanced further inside of the final 100 meters. Number 7. Wout van Aert was beaten to the finish line in Orleans by Fabio Jacobsen, who won the second stage of the Paris-Nice race with an emphatic victory. After finishing in third place, Christophe Laporte maintained his position as the overall race leader. He has a 5-second advantage over Van Aert, while Primož Roglič fell to third place, 11 seconds behind Van Aert. After the peloton was blown apart by crosswinds in the second half of the stage, Jacobsen was one of only a handful of sprinters who managed to make it into the front group. His quick-step team dominated the splits and was successful in placing 3 riders in the front group to support the rider from the Netherlands. Number 8. Christophe Laporte won Stage 19 of the Tour de France in a thrilling finish. Before the stage started, no French rider had won the race yet, even though Laporte would make sure that France had a say in the action this year. Matej Mohori, Quinn Simmons, Michael Honor, Taco van der Hoorn, and Nils Politt formed a small breakaway that stayed in front of the peloton for the first few minutes of racing, but they would soon disappear as they became less effective and Simmons kept attacking them. The next people to try their luck were Fred Wright, Jasper Stuyven, and Alexis Gugaard. As the 3 riders went by the sign that said 1 kilometer to go, Laporte was on them. Wright would make a last-ditch effort to get away, but Laporte would be too strong for him as he rushed around him, creating a gap and then sprinting across the finish line. Laporte raised his arms to cheer on Jumbo-Visma after they won another great stage at the Tour de France 2022. Alberto Dainese came in third, and Jasper Phillips came in second. The rest of the main field finished just behind Laporte so that Jonas Vingegaard, who is on Laporte's team, wouldn't lose too much ground in the overall standings. Tadej Pogacar came in 5th place on the stage, giving him just 4 seconds back from the leader. And that's it for today, guys. We sincerely hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please click on the like button and share it with your family and friends. If you have any questions or comments, please share them with us in the comments space below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see even more of our incredible videos. You can also check out our other videos that have been specially selected for you. We'll catch up in the next video.